This 11-year-old boy has a tree for a brain. Now, he is the youngest astronomer in history. Nathan's success is a cumulative result of every bad thing that happened to him. One day, 11-year-old Nathan was driving through town with his parents when a devastating storm hit the town. A sudden lightning bolt struck a tree, causing it to fall on top of the car they were riding. The impact was so severe that he was knocked unconscious. Thankfully, his parents were safe, but they found him collapsed under the rubble. Doctors were called in, but they were unsure if Nathan would survive.
The impact of the falling tree was so severe that it caused extensive damage to his frontal lobe, damaging the most important area of the brain, which controls cognitive function and body movement.
Nathan was left in a coma for weeks, as doctors struggled to find the best possible course of treatment. After much deliberation, he underwent a risky surgery to salvage what remains of his frontal lobe. 4 months later, when the injury has been resolved and his frontal lobes are preserved, he was finally cleared to go home. But the surgery did not undo the damage.
Our son lived in a world of his own, devoid of memories. There were times he couldn't even remember us. Everything he had learned was wiped away. So, he had to learn it all again. He had a hard time understanding simple concepts and even simpler words. Nathan's frustrations would often get the best of him, causing him to throw sudden anger tantrums. His inability to walk made him starkly different from other kids his age, making him a target of bullies. It feels like every day we lose more of the son we know.
Desperate to save their precious child, Nathan's parents tried everything, from medications, therapy sessions, and ineffective doctor consultations, but there was no one who could help except Dr. Shayna L., who is a world-leading brain neurosurgeon with 33 years of experience.
I once had a patient who had hundreds of tapeworms in his brain, all because he ate uncooked food. Though we successfully removed the worms, he was left with less than half of his brain. But that wasn't the most shocking point, because in the next few weeks, he returned with a fully recovered brain, like nothing had happened at all. When I asked him what he had done, all he showed me was a bottle of oil, which was a formula his great-grandparents have specially made. But because I was still in disbelief, I requested a small sample from him, and ran a detailed research on it.
This was what Dr. Shayna found. The bottle of oil was actually a pure concentrated extract of sandalwood, and within itself lies a strong compound known as sesquiterpenes. It has the strongest ability to recover brain injuries, by increasing up to 82% of oxygen being sent to the brain for its healing processes, which explains how Dr. Shayna patient could enjoy a speedy recovery in just weeks. Hypothesizing that it can help Nathan, Dr. Shayna started developing a prototype by extracting the highest concentration of sesquiterpenes from sandalwood into an oil to be applied to Nathan's temples. After weeks of closely monitoring Nathan's progress, Dr. Shane reviewed the results from her latest MRI scan.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The mark left by the tree trunk in his brain had healed. Surprisingly, the scan showed that his frontal lobe was completely restored, with millions of new neurons that had larger dendrites, making Nathan exceptionally intelligent, gifted with an extremely high IQ and EQ. As a physician, I was amazed by the extent of his progress, and I can't wait to see how it will affect his future.
As someone who had a giant tree hit his brain, I always felt like I was trapped in a mindless body. My thought processes were incomplete, and my body felt uncontrollable. It was as if I was stuck in a never-ending cycle of frustration and confusion. But everything changed due to a special oil that worked wonders on my brain. After using it, I could finally walk and convey messages clearly. Not only that, my mood stabilized, and I started picking up things at a really fast pace, even studying advanced mathematics on my own. It was as if I had a new brain. My classmates noticed the difference too. They stopped the teasing and instead reached out for help. This incredible oil changed my life, and gave me the ability to live like a normal person.
Witnessing Nathan's successful recovery along with a boost of intelligence, Dr. Shayna realized its high potential to help people around the world who have been struggling mentally without a choice. So, he decided to create an upgraded formula consisting of sandalwood extract and Bacopa monnieri, an ancient herb used in Ayurvedic medicine that can increase anyone's IQ by tenfold. After months of trials and errors, he finally created Coventox.
Infused with the highest contents of sandalwood and Bacopa monnieri, these compounds can go beyond our blood-brain barrier to increase new neural connections in different parts of our brain, replacing the loss of brain cells as we age. to protect our brain from cognitive decline and all other cognitive problems. At the same time, users will experience a high increase in intelligence, which provides you mental clarity and attentiveness. You'll witness yourself having better memory, improved problem-solving skills, and a reduced reaction time as your information processing speeds up. By inhaling the floral and deep woody scent of Coventox once a day, anyone will begin to think like a prodigy with a constant elevated mood, as your mind maintains its peak performance no matter when or where.
After months of using Coventox, Nathan's brain had become a powerhouse of mathematical prowess. He had easily mastered calculus, statistics, and physics calculations. Not only that, but Nathan helped NASA solve tough mathematical problems that had been plaguing scientists for decades. He became the youngest astronomer in history, and inspired those who struggled with mental difficulties. Here's what 18-year-old KDM, who has ADHD, wants to say.
I used to be stuck in an infinity loop of failing grades, even when I took medications and tried my best to focus in class. Nothing ever works. Tiny distractions were just everywhere. Things changed once I tried Coventox. For the first time in my life, my mind was finally calm. My thoughts were organized and I started remembering better. The next thing I knew, I passed my SAT with flying colors, and even nailed my driving test recently.
Millions of people around the world have already gained a limitless minds. To support the month of mental health awareness, Dr. Shayna is working in partnership with National Learning Disability Associations to offer up to 80% discount for any purchase, as a gentle reminder that no one is born unintelligent, because anyone can be made into a genius. Click the link for more information.